What is going on? It's your boy Thunderstorm, and I've finally decided to do a 100 days challenge. Yes, I know I'm late to the party and everything, but it's finally here. Now I've decided to do my first challenge in a randomly generated post-apocalyptic city. And of course, as you saw in the intro, there are zombies. Lots of them, all kinds. And if you couldn't tell already, sunlight has no effect on them. Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. So grab your snacks and get ready. But before we get into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to Luke the Notable, the original creator of the 100 Days Challenge, and of course Forge Labs. Both of them gave me inspiration. They are both amazing content creators, so if you haven't seen their channels before, you should go check them out. Also, if you guys want to see more content like this in the future, I got some really good ideas that I can make happen and get some more work commissioned, but only if you guys show the video some love and subscribe. And lastly, I just want to specify I'm playing on a randomly generated world on hardcore, so I don't know where anything is, and I start with minimal food and tools, but that's it. Everything will matter because if I die, I'm dead for good. So without further ado, let's get into it. Day 1. I woke up in some kind of jungle or something, I don't know, and I found a monkey. That was pretty cool. What is that? Is that a monkey? I also saw a crocodile get attacked for some reason. And then I just went to the first city I could find. Yeah, literally the first freaking thing that I see is this. 2 giant zombies. Yeah, you don't want to mess with these guys. You'll find out later. I also found an old temple. Got a bunch of arrows from it. You see this tower here? This tower would become my home. But this is where the problem started happening. I wanted to make a crafting table, but you need a saw for that, which I did not have. I spent the rest of the night getting charcoal to light the building up. Didn't want anything spawning in there. Day 2, I found some copper, which was good because you can use it to craft weapons. And in all honesty, anything was better than wood. So I mined as much as I could. I realized the problem was that I broke my axe earlier and now I have no way of chopping wood. I also needed more sticks for tools, so my only choice was to scrape the leaves looking for sticks, considering I had the no tree punching mod on, which prevents me from chopping trees without the tools. By the end of the day, I had enough sticks to make a saw, meaning I wasn't stuck in a loop anymore. Also crafted a halberd with some of the remaining gold I found in the chest. I went upstairs and realized that I chose a good building because mine also came equipped with a brewing stand and an enchantment table. Seemed like this was a pretty lucky run. But you'll come to realize that these things are kind of scattered all over the cities. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this was like my 7th attempt to even get a decent enough attempt going strong. This is the best luck I've had so far. Woke up day 3 feeling adventurous. I went to scavenge for other things I could use in my house, and I found an anvil a few seconds away from my house. And then this guy freaking jump scares me. I found a few chests throughout the day and found all kinds of goodies. Iron, more gold, food, you name it. But then a blood moon happened. Now, if you don't know what a blood moon is, it's a special event where the spawn rates of enemies are increased. And in just a few minutes of sitting around too long, you could be completely overwhelmed. I wasn't taking any chances with that, so I ran home as quick as possible. Oh no, it was this way. Just look at this library here. Everywhere you turn. You do not want to be outside during a blood moon. Now, this event also prevents you from sleeping even if I had a bed. So there's nothing to do but wait it out, so that's what I did. I made myself some tools in the meantime though. Day 4, I realized that the zombies weren't going to despawn. Sunlight had no effect on them, so I decided to just go for a sprint and explore some more. I saw like this giant eel thing, which didn't seem very friendly. And then this happened. Or is he gonna attack me? That thing's huge. He's attacking me. I'm gonna run. Came across this bridge here too, and yeah, this bridge goes for an extremely long time. It connects to a bunch of different cities, and I don't even think I explored the whole thing by the end of this. I entered a local city and started trying to find some more chests and stuff, and this guy jump scares me. Oh my god. Trying to give me a heart attack, man? And then I walked right into a spawner. So yeah, things weren't going very well, but they were going, I suppose. Saw some kind of railroad system over here, and I just decided to post up on the roof for the night. Didn't want to be caught up with the zombies at nighttime. While I was up there, I crafted myself a reinforced copper bow and a copper hammer. Day 5, I woke up and wandered the city, and then I found some of my biggest rivals. Yeah, this is payback. Probably wasn't even you guys who did this, but someone's gotta pay. These boars, and I wanted them dead. Last time they ruined an entire run for me, and I needed my payback. Oh, what the heck? Alright. At first it was going well, but then things took a turn for the worst. Bad idea. Yep, bad idea. Bad idea. Yeah, they almost took me out again. These things are better just left alone. Nothing too important happened that night. Just made my way back to the rooftop from before and waited the night out. Also, look at this dude here. What the? Look at this dude on top of the building like he's King Kong or something. Day 6, I came down the stairs and to my surprise, someone came out to play. Yeah, no, this city had become even more dangerous than the last, so I just decided I wanted to head home and lock myself in my tower while I figured things out. Home sweet home. I can't tell you how happy I was to see this place after almost getting my head ripped off by a giant zombie and being impaled by boars. Nothing important happened that night. I just kind of made the 4th floor look a bit more homey since that's where I would be sleeping whenever I got to bed. Honestly, a perfect location. Not too far up where the zombies spawn above and not too low where they could just waltz right in and murder me in my sleep. I also lit up the next floor and the roof, and that led to the next morning. On day 7, I wanted blood. I decided I needed to get rid of spawners to find good loot in the chests, since chests are always surrounded by 2 spawners. Also killed some more boars before I headed into the library. And then I hit the jackpot. Big time. Whoa there. At least until I turned around. Why is there freaking blood? Yeah, I don't even know how he got in here and why he was spawning in the first place. And then a baby zombie almost killed me. I hate these things with a passion. The zombies and blazes kept spawning, but I blocked everything off and got into the chest anyways. And after knocking out the other spawners, I found some more big loot. Oh, yes. This is what I'm talking about right here. You see, this world was very rewarding, but only if you work for it. I also made a discovery. I had a mod installed that implemented emeralds more appropriately in the game to give them more use. And, well, it's actually stronger than diamond. And you know what that meant. If I either found a village or a traveling merchant, I could be decked out in just a few minutes. I also almost died to a baby zombie again. I hate these things so much. Day 8 hit and I finally got ready to leave. Then I realized all that commotion going on wasn't just for dramatic effect, and I got swarmed. With the help of my glaive though, turned them into short work and left. I made myself an emerald pickaxe and I found out you can actually make guns in this game, which dropped a lot of confusion about why I kept picking up bullets. The recipe had multiple steps though, and I needed a mechanical crafter, which was a quest all in itself. You'll see what I mean by that later. Spent the rest of the day researching things that would have been useful in the journey, and that led to the next morning. Day 9, finally got the courage to visit the basement, and I got beat up by some zombies. And I gained 2 extra hearts just for eating. If I wanted to craft anything, I needed a lot of materials, especially iron, and looting chests for it was a bit too unreliable and time consuming for me. So I took matters into my own hands and started mining. Finally got down here and there are resources everywhere. Iron, gold, zinc, redstone, you name it. I haven't found this mineral called raritanium. I still don't know what it does, to be honest. I also found some diamonds too. Look at that, only took me 9 days. Yeah, it's not as strong as emerald, but diamond is diamond. You also can't make any of the Spartan weapons with emeralds, just high level tools and armor, so diamond was still really good. For the most part things were quiet, not a lot of zombies down there, and the worst thing I saw down here was a cockroach. Ugh, these things are nasty. Well, I say it was quiet at least, until it wasn't anymore. The zombies hear really well, so once one comes, here comes the rest. And for that same reason, this guy was doing an Olympic sprint at me. Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a difficulty meter here in the corner, and it progressively rises, making the enemies more tough and making them develop more dangerous abilities such as sprinting. I mined some obsidian for a portal before I got ready to leave. However, you'll see why that was pointless in a bit. I was in that mine for 2 days before I finally left though. I popped up on the night of day 12 and boy was I lost. I had no idea where I was or how to get home. So I set up shack in this random building for the night and waited it out. Day 13, I found a squirrel or something and was afraid of it. Shocker. I feel like it's gonna try to bite me, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Still lost, by the way. Had to set up shop again in a nearby building, and I just did research all night. I realized I needed andesite for nearly every recipe with one of my mods. Day 14, I finally decided to use my past coordinates like someone with half a brain. I had to remember the coordinates for X and Y, but I forgot the Z. Nevertheless, I found my safe place again, and apparently someone else had found it too. This traveling merchant pulled up on an elephant. Yeah, a whole elephant. Just because. He was just living lavish, I guess. And seeing his prices, I see how. Either way, I got some wood to make a storage room, or at least I thought it would be, and made a staircase so I wasn't struggling getting up and down all the time. Then this elephant started being weird. I don't think you're supposed to be doing. The next morning on day 15, I built a few parts for the gun until I realized it was impossible to finish without brass, and I didn't know how to get that yet. I went down to the mine again and got some andesite to use to start making contraptions. I found some weird blobfish too. Why they were in a cave, I did not know. I went back home and realized that everything I had would not suffice for anything. So I went back down to the mine at night and I actually found a goblin trader, who scared the crap out of me, by the way. Jesus. I also found out he has the best trades ever. Like if him and the traveling merchant were in competition, let's just say he'd be the one pulling up on elephants instead of the traveling merchant. I mostly had my eye on cobblestone trade though. 32 cobblestone got you 1 emerald, meaning with enough stacks I can make armor with them. And remember, emerald armor would actually be better than diamond armor. This was a steal, so I tried to trap him in while I mined cobblestone, and I guess he didn't like that because when I came back he was gone. No. The next day, I was gonna go ahead and get some books, but someone disagreed with that idea. How? Oh! What the heck? Are you kidding me, dude? What is your problem? I went up to the roof to see how bad things were, and there was another one. And the traveling merchant left his llama on top of the library. I did try to go over to get some wool for my bed, but for some reason the wool just disappears. I also realized the traveling merchant was hanging his other llama off the roof. I almost pushed him off the side. And this guy scared the crap out of me. Whoa! What the heck? The next day came around and man, these guys were everywhere. I wanted to see just how strong they were and well, he set up the perfect opportunity for me. He could barely even fight back, but man, does he have a lot of health. Eventually I got him and he dropped a Hulk hammer or something. It did 9 damage. Not bad. I then rushed into the library to get some books, but the librarians found out I didn't have a library card. The traveling merchant taunted me from the windows again. Poor llama, you didn't deserve this. I made some furniture to make it look a bit more like a home for the rest of the night. Day 18. Same old, get more materials because I never have enough. I saw an octopus though, that was pretty cool. Also found out you can do waypoints, which would have came in handy when I was lost a few days ago. I wandered off for a bit looking for some wood because I was low, and I found a parrot. Yeah, I had to tame this guy. I needed something else to help me cope with how horrible the world was, and the new homey feel of the tower was cool, but not that helpful. Nevertheless, I tamed him and took him home. Somewhere he couldn't be harmed. I named him Philip. Why? I don't know, I just like that name for a bird, I guess. I took some time to mess around with the buttons and I discovered the minimap wasn't so many after all. I could use it to see everything I've explored so far. It even includes my icon and my waypoints. The next day I made me a mechanical press. I couldn't figure out how to power it though. I won't lie, it took me a while to figure this stuff out. Eventually you'll see what I came up with, but for now I was just very confused and it proceeded for the entire night. Day 20, I made a water wheel which was pretty cool, and you use it to power your contraptions. Which, if you want to make anything good, you will have a lot of. Took me a whole day to get the thing functioning, but it was worth it because the next morning I had power to my mechanical press and I was able to make iron sheets. That's a material you need for a lot of stuff. And I basically just experimented the rest of the day. I decided to go outside for some reason and this happened.
No! What the? Get inside now! Oh my god.
Yeah, that almost ended the run right there. If you didn't know why I was avoiding those guys before, I'm sure you know now. Those things are dangerous, and they also have the ability to spawn other zombies. I wasn't messing around with them until I was prepared. Also, have I mentioned that I hate baby zombies? So don't laugh, but if you're wondering why I was doing all this, I wanted to make a fridge. No, seriously. I don't know why, but this is what I wanted. Also, I wanted to find some wool so I can make a bed, and obviously you can't use the llamas for it. I did have some cobweb though, which can turn into string and then into wool. So I did that and proceeded to make a bed. Or attempted to, rather. Yeah, it wasn't just a bed I couldn't make either. Couldn't make anything to sleep on. Bedrolls, hammocks, none of that. Only option was to find a bed, and I didn't even know if a village existed in this mod. Either way, I made myself a backpack from the wool, and that's what led to the next day. Nothing interesting happened this day, and nothing interesting happened for the day after that either, which led to day 23. This is where I attempted to make a nether portal. Most of the stuff I needed required me to go to the nether and gather nether wart and quartz, so I had to push through it and just go. Unfortunately, I forgot I had a mod installed making conventional teleporters useless. In order to go to the nether, you need to find a portal leading there, deep underground. More on that later. Day 24. Almost died to another baby zombie while trying to explore. It didn't go too well. Did I mention I hate baby zombies? Either way, I headed off across this never-ending bridge hoping to find something. I don't know why I would leave my perfectly safe tower to go on an adventure. Content. That's why. I ended up shacking up for the night in the nearest village, and that was it for day 24. The next morning I found a goblin trader. Well, actually he found me. He had the same good deals too. Unfortunately I didn't have that much cobble on me, so I was out of luck. I tried to tame a crow too. Didn't work. This was quite an interesting day actually. I found all kinds of animals. A coyote, elephants, and gazelles. And then I settled for another building to post up in for the night. Day 26, now this was a good day. I found a really good sword that I'll be using for the rest of the challenge, just sitting in this chest. And a shovel with vein mining. I even found a boomerang which surprisingly actually worked. I remember why I left now. I wanted pumpkins. There were none near my house and I needed them to make an iron golem. And a totem of undying. Plus they're just good to have for food of course. After that I posted up and waited the night out. Day 27. Which is my lucky number by the way. I found some coyotes. I couldn't tame them though because they're super greedy. And I didn't have enough meat for them anyways. I raided some chests and found a bit of loot before I left the city. Everything went well until this happened.
What the heck? Go!
Yeah, there was like an invisible zombie and it wasn't a glitch or anything. This becomes a regular occurrence throughout the challenge, especially the higher the difficulty goes up. If this is what low difficulty felt like, I'd hate to see the max difficulty. I was heading home and then I heard something. But to be honest with you, I kinda don't like it. What the heck was that noise? What was that? Oh! What? There's somehow a village in the middle of this town? Are you guys gonna hurt me? To my surprise, I actually found a village with guards and all. And I gotta tell you, this is like my new favorite place. I even considered moving my base over here. It needed a little TLC, but it was pretty cool. And these guys were super hardcore. That's the kind of protection I need around, especially if a giant showed up. I stayed here for the night. In fact, I stayed here for a few nights just trying to spruce up the place. This went on all the way until day 31. Okay, day 31, I made a huge mistake, and the poor villagers had to pay for it. I was gonna try to clear out the bottom and light it up so the villagers had access to everything, and they went down before I wanted them to. I couldn't stop them from going down, and they were consumed almost instantly, if not turned. I felt so disgraced that I brought harm to this nice flourishing village. And then I got beat up by a baby zombie on top of it. I hate those. It wasn't sitting right with me that all those nice villagers were now zombies. So I made a decision. I had to put the turned villagers to rest. They didn't deserve this. I carefully made my way down, trying to get a good shot on them from the stairs. And then this happened. Yeah, someone pushed me in. I don't know if it was another zombie or a villager who was angry at me for letting everyone die, but either way, I was down here now. I also found a survivor tucked away in the back of the dungeon. I boxed him in and told him I'd be back. Fortunately, he's probably a rotting corpse now because I forgot to come back. Sorry. I then got beat up by another invisible zombie before I finally ran out and just left the village. The damage was done. They clearly didn't want me there anyways. On the way home, I got a nice view of the sunset at least. Well, a brief moment of it. I made it home safely and I said hi to Philip. Day 32. I figured out how to make quartz without having to go to the nether. I had to make do considering I couldn't just make a portal anymore. That's all I did day 32. Finally decided to make me a golem, except when I tried to place the head on him, this is what happened.
What the? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, looks like other than the Totem of Undying, I had went to go find Pumpkin for no reason. I decided to start building a library out of my second floor considering I did have an enchantment table already, and almost full armor. A blood moon also happened, but I was in the safest place I could be, so no harm came to me. I don't know why, but the next morning I decided to mess with this guy. He wasn't too happy about it.
Ow! What the heck? Oh!
I swung around and finished him off though, and he dropped me a freaking grenade for some reason. I wasn't complaining, although I don't think I used any of these throughout the whole challenge. I was saving them for a special occasion that never happened. Day 36, not much was going on after that. I did find another pre-made portal and a chest though. The portal of course didn't work though. I made a decision to try to go and find some loot at nighttime, and boy was that risky. I had to box myself in here and the zombies just kept coming. Day 37. The next morning, they didn't despawn, so I had to deal with them. I wanted the XP, so I killed them all and found a bunch of monkeys too. I tried to give them a banana, but they wouldn't accept it. What kind of blasphemy is that? And this zombie was rudely interrupting as well. Finally did some enchanting when I got home. Had lots of levels of blow, so why not? Also managed to make some polished rose quartz, which is used for the more technical stuff of the crate mod, or basically what you need to make all the cool stuff. I needed some more redstone though, so I headed to the mine and I was attacked by some zombies. And another invisible one.
There is an invisible one.
This was the best thing ever here though. I kept hearing these little familiar grunts, wondering what it was, and I realized it was a goblin trader. I started getting cobblestone immediately because I wasn't missing another opportunity to have full emerald armor. And then I realized he was right next to me the whole time. He was just invisible.
He's right in front of me. He's just invisible. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay.
I walked out of there with 33 emeralds. Enough to make a whole set of armor plus more. This dude was so MVP. I decided to call him Ghibli. I forgot his name immediately after that though.
Not that you're gonna die or anything, but after the challenge is over, I'll remember you. Wish you had a name. We'll call you Ghibli. Every time I see a goblin trader, his name's automatically gonna be Ghibli, and I'm gonna assume it's this guy, the same one.
I was down here for about 2 days, and when I emerged, this happened.
I'm gonna head back home. Hey there. Hi. What? What the heck is happening? What was that?
8:39. I headed home and the first thing I did was make me a new set of armor. Unfortunately, I couldn't replace my helmet because I had Curse of Binding on it, so I was out of luck for that one defense. I guess I could live without it. Day 40, I came in with an aggression. I wanted a pistol badly. I found out you needed brass to make a mechanical crafter, and it was heated with a blaze burner. Luckily, there was a library right across the street from me, which for some reason spawned blazes. And I found out to make brass, you just needed to mix zinc and copper. I also forgot to mention I snagged a bed from the village, as if I didn't do enough damage already. But this let me sleep through the nights if I ever wanted to go outside with mild zombies. And for the first time in the whole challenge, I got some sleep. Day 41. I didn't do much this day. I just got some wood and explored a bit, shacked up in a nearby building and farmed some zombies for XP. On day 42, I found a new parrot. I named her Ellie. She didn't do much just like Philip, but she filled the endless pit of loneliness in my heart, so that was good enough for me. Then a blood moon happened. Yeah, I rushed home as quick as I could. I was not about to be caught up out there. You couldn't sleep through a blood moon though, so I did research for the rest of the night. Apparently the next day too, because time got away from me when I was decorating my room. Either way, it was worth it. At day 44, I actually redid my kitchen too, and I did some more interior decorating. I also started building a farm on the second floor roof. Figured it would be good to have crops, so why not? I just kept building and I didn't stop until day 47. Then, I actually pushed into a library with an empty blaze burner, hoping to fill it up. It proved to be harder than I thought just to get in there, but eventually I boxed myself into this room with all the goodies. Lots of gunpowder, gold, and all that stuff. Also got beat up by 2 baby zombies. Did I mention I hate those things? But more importantly, blazes spawn in this room on occasion. I thought I had to use my blaze burner on the spawner to fill it up, but it turns out you could just use it on a blaze. So I did. And boy was that satisfying. They weren't too happy about me stealing their blaze friends, and it shows here. Even a few of them made it into my second floor because I was too neglectful to shut my door. Yeah, they really didn't like me having this. They were everywhere, even more than normal. I eventually finished them all off using the window on my side building, and I got a lot of XP for it. That night I made me a mechanical mixer and powered up my blaze burner. It wasn't doing anything yet because I had also powered the mixer, but isn't this blaze just so adorable? I also made a millstone which is used to grind up raw ore. I did this so I can combine the crushed zinc with the crushed copper to make brass, and finally start making the cool stuff. This led to day 51, where I finally combined them together to make some brass. On day 52, I turned some of that brass into sheets, and finally made me the mechanical crafters I needed. Now I won't lie here, I was extremely confused here, and it actually took me 4 days to figure out how the cogs and shafts worked. I also think I took a breath of fresh air and fell down a pit. I was okay though, there was water at the bottom, but after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a whole nother day, I finally made it. A pistol.
Yes, let's go. Your boy's got the Glock.
Yeah, it's a small start, but now that I can make guns, I can make anything I wanted. So the very next day I made a rifle, and then turned into a heavy rifle the next day. I had to stay well equipped after all, and these weapons are pretty strong too. Honestly, just kind of a pain to keep ammo in them. Day 59, I wanted to try to make a workstation so I can make vehicles. It'd be really helpful to be able to move around quicker, especially with that huge bridge. I can make a path leading right from my front yard. Unfortunately, that was quickly put to bed. For some reason, I couldn't craft the recipe. Guess I would be forced to do the challenge on foot. Oh well. I didn't find that out until day 64 though, after wasting a lot of time. Yeah, I took 6 days trying to figure this out because I really just wanted an ATV or a dirt bike, but that never happened. At one point, I even threw my sword down a mine shaft on accident.
I gotta go get that. Come on, man. There's freaking spawners down there, too.
And I almost died trying to go get it, all just to find out that I couldn't even make a vehicle. I expanded my garden a bit since I didn't have too many things I could do right now. I also made an infinite watering hole, just because they're always handy. I don't know why, but for someone who was so eager to make a pistol, I didn't actually test it on zombies until day 65. Day 66, I made a scope for my rifle and wanted to expand my backpack, so I went looking for cobwebs. Found this weird chicken who kept following me around for some reason.
I think this chicken's following me.
Starting to freak me out. I got some string and farmed for XP for the rest of the night. On day 67, I decided to venture off a bit. The city only had so much resources and I needed to change the scenery for a bit. And boy did I get one. I came across this gorgeous giant mushroom biome. It was almost enough to make me forget I was perpetually doomed, stuck in a zombie apocalypse. I found a bunch more cobweb, but I had to post up for the night because I don't want to risk it, especially not on this difficulty. I finally found some sheep. I don't know why, but my first instinct was to murder them. But I did. I didn't feel bad either. I also shot a crocodile just minding his business for some reason. I don't know why. I think this zombie apocalypse thing is really wearing down on my mental. Especially the whole being lonely thing. Night came, and so did these not so friendly coyotes. I found a building to hanker down in and was sniping this guy here. Zombies kept spawning for some reason though. I don't know why. I also had to fight off an armada of zombies to leave the building. Day 69, I was collecting every cactus I could find. I could use it with white dye to actually make some more slime balls and eventually magma cream. I fell though. Once again, I got lucky. I also found more diamonds and gold in a chest. Wandered off and saw a boar, and after what they put me through, I wasn't letting any of them live. Night came and I tried to take on this guy, which turned out to be a huge mistake. Especially when he started spawning zombies. I just decided to make a run for it. A very dramatic run, which I kept seeing these giants everywhere. That and the bane of my existence, these baby zombies. I wanted to tame this horse I found too, but there was no time to stop, unfortunately. I never had any transportation. Day 70, I was still running. I didn't want any of those giants to catch up to me, so I made a boat and I just jumped into the ocean trying to head home. I wasn't taking any risks with those things. I'm glad I didn't come across any sharks or anything. For the record, yes, this map does have sharks. I made it to land on the other side and found some elephants and the gazelles from before. I also found Ghibli again, who had the same trades, and I'm not gonna lie, that's kinda OP. He's a bit of a rare find, but the payoff is really good. I wish villagers were like that. I made it back home safely, right as it hit sundown, and I got some rest. Day 71, I made the biggest size backpack I could get. I also made myself a slime ball, but it took a lot longer than I would have liked considering I needed dough. I also realized I still couldn't get nether wart. There was no substitute either, which meant I had no choice. I had to go to the nether. Now, I mentioned before the nether can't be accessed from conventional portals in this world. I had to find one in the cave and use it to get to the nether. But what I didn't mention is that there's only one way back, and that's through these monolith things. You needed 4 gold blocks in place in order to reactivate a monolith, which would return you home. So if I was going to the nether, I had to go prepared to stay for a while. I wanted to farm some ammo before I went, but it was just taking too long. I also didn't have any iron and didn't want to mine any, so I just went for it. I said goodbye to my parrots and I set off for the nether. Day 72, I started mining, and I wasn't going to stop until I heard those portal noises. This trip had to happen. I was avoiding it for way too long. Eventually, I started hearing the humming and I stopped and immediately started clearing the area. And then...
What the heck?
Yeah, the nether was in this weird form of liquid. But sure enough, I went in. I spawned right in front of a zombie for some reason. And surprisingly, this is the only time you'll see one down here. Maybe he just followed me in. My difficulty was now at level 89. And I was actually pretty spooked. I didn't know what was waiting for me outside. Not to mention I hadn't been to the nether since like 1.0. But from what I could tell, most of this was roughly the same. Inverted cave system, twisted and contorted naturally generated land, just as terrible as I remember it. I mustered up the courage to go down and explore, and I immediately found a lava goblin trader. And let me tell you, I guess you could say his trades were pretty fire. If I die, I deserve it. Going forward, a freaking gas attacked me. I couldn't even see him. I took a few shots at him, but he was much too far, so I gave in and just left. I ventured off looking for nether wart and shortly after made a huge mistake. The biggest one I had made thus far. I shot a hog, assuming he was hostile. I didn't want to risk another boar situation, and he was a lot bigger than those things. If you don't already know why that was a mistake, you'll see why shortly. I also found this weird thing here, a strider, I think. They didn't try to kill me though, so it was fine with me. Well, at least these guys didn't. Shortly after, something else tried to. He was being super aggressive too, and he was eating bullets. Eventually he fell though, and I just left him alone. Day 73. This is around the time that it became the next day. This thing fluttered at me, and if my response wasn't evidence enough, I wasn't too happy about it.
Can I help you? You got me messed up.
I got some glowstone though, and I didn't die, so that was good at least. I eventually wandered off, and this guy was even more aggressive than the last one. Shortly after, I actually found one of those monolith things, the only escape. I wasn't ready to leave yet, but at least I had a guaranteed way out, and it was on the map, so I made a waypoint in case I needed to come back after. I also made me a small little makeshift base for the time being, and I spent the night doing that. Day 74, I expected to come outside and fight a ghast, but instead I came out to this.
What did I do?
Yeah, I almost died to pigmen, not even zombies. It took me a while to figure out it was because I killed their hog, and even though they weren't around to see, they knew, and they weren't happy. Looks like there's no friends for me in the nether either. I just said screw it and killed them all since there was no negotiation with them. I killed a magma cube and got a single magma cream, but better than nothing I suppose. I checked my map and found out that there was a nether fortress on the other side of the map. It would be a long dangerous journey, but it was the only way I could get nether wart. You know, the more I say that, the more it sounds like a deadly STD. Sorry, back on topic. Yeah, the pigmen were just so pissed off at me. They almost killed me even after I gave them gold. They'll look at the gold for a few seconds, throw some crap at you, and then they'll go back to being angry. There was no options to become friends again. That was out of the question. I just decided to kill any of them I saw. It was safer that way. Day 75, I mined me out a little pathway to the fortress. From my experiences here, I realized it was better to stay off the surface. I had only been here for 3 days. That's saying enough. I found another fire goblin guy, but it was kind of pointless. I got nether wart and I could have just left, grew what I had, but I got greedy, as usual. I wanted more. Besides, I wanted to know if there was anything good in the chest, so I still pushed to the fortress. Day 76. Not much happened in between here and the trek to the fortress. It took a little longer because I didn't want to risk making a path over lava, and I didn't want to tame striders, because I didn't know how. My best bet was moving underground, avoiding hostile enemies, like a little baby. So, eventually I made it there. On day 77. It did not take me long to find nether wart here. Grab some soul sand here too because you needed to grow it. To my surprise, I didn't make a dumb decision for once. Nothing was spawning, so it was kind of easy to navigate. Easy and creepy, of course. This breathing is really giving me chills. I found diamonds, gold armor, all that good stuff, and I explored every corner of it. The only enemies here were the blazes, and I had no reason to mess with them, so I just kept moving. At the end of the day, I got my fill, and then I got out of this creepy fortress and headed to the nearest monolith. The trek took me until the next morning, but on day 78 I found a monolith closer than the waypoint I had, and it already had 2 golden blocks in it. It was pretty obvious what I needed to do, and I wasn't that dumb to begin with, but I used all these nuggets to make some gold blocks, and correct I was about this thing after all.
Oh yes. I did it. I finally get out of here. Let's go. Where am I?
I had made it back home safely, and with the nether wart. I had no reason to come back in there, so I wasn't going to. Home was really far away though, so I decided it was best for me to just get going. I posted up for the night, and in the morning of day 79, I headed out. I had 3,000 meters to go, so it was going to take some time to get there. On the way though, I actually found pigs for the first time, and it became night again before I was even halfway home. So I had to make another stop in a random building. As you can see, some of these guys didn't even want to wait until nighttime to start tearing me to bits. This guy here saw me from the window when I ran inside the building though. Scared the crap out of me. I just stayed on the other side of the building until the morning. Day 80. The next morning I went out and started my journey home again. Found a songbird and I couldn't tame it either. I guess animals just don't like me that much. Everything was beginning to look more familiar, the closer I got obviously. And in the late afternoon, I finally made it back home. I wasn't sure if I'd ever see this building again, to be honest. But one thing was for sure, I was happy to see it. Also, you remember that chicken that kept following me? Maybe animals didn't hate me so much after all, because it made a little family in the corner of my side building here. I guess it was just looking at me for safety or something. I went upstairs and hung my new trophy on the wall, and I made me a block reinforcer. I wanted to make this place more secure because I had something to protect. My birds, Ellie and Philip, and of course, the new family of chickens I hadn't named yet. And day came soon after. I made a camera monitor. Of course I had to make security camera for it to work though, and an invisible zombie went to beat me outside when I placed it though. Cameras won't be very useful for seeing them unfortunately. Surprisingly it actually worked though. It was portable as well, so I could see on the go if anything was at my house creeping around. The next day I made some TNT and planted me a netherwork garden finally. Now I had everything I needed to be able to cure some of these villager zombies. If you're not following why I did this, in order to make the potions of weakness, the potions used to cure zombies of the affliction, you needed fermented spider eyes, which obviously cannot be made if I didn't have any spider eyes. And considering there was no spiders in this world, I had to use a substitute. Luckily, there was a substitute in form of netherwort to make the eyes. That's why I needed it. Day 83. The next morning I planted a sugarcane garden to get some sugar for the fermented spider eye. Of course I had to wait for it to grow though. In the meantime I got some wood. I also got attacked by this stupid fish.
You got me messed up.
Day 84. The next day I mined for a few minutes and then tried to force a deer to follow me with a carrot. I wanted more animals than just birds, even though deers aren't even tameable. But I got him safely into my side building, right before nighttime. Day 85, I woke up to some zombies trying to give me a high five, and then I found this freaky looking feral wolf. I read the animal dictionary and it says that those things aren't tameable without an ender dragon head. And to be honest, even if I were to kill the ender dragon, I don't think I would get a head, so I just dipped. I don't remember why I was outside. Maybe I just wanted to go on the trip feeling fulfilled that I returned safely. All I know is I was feeling good. So good that I shot a crocodile. Right after that I made a huge mistake of getting too close to that moose thing again though. He almost took me down and I was never going towards him again. End of story. That night I finally had enough materials for a fermented spider eye, so I gathered my resources and headed to my brewing station. Made me some splash potions of weakness with great potency and a few golden apples, and I headed to bed. On day 86 I became a miracle worker. I wanted to test it to see if it would even work with these mods on, and surely enough, it did. I saved 4 lives, although 2 of them immediately ran away. It didn't matter. I felt accomplished with this, and I kept 2 of them safe. I kept them safe from the dangers outside. Next few days I spent figuring out how the security craft mod worked, and I decided I wanted to go all out on security. It took me until day 92 to finally figure out how to get the stupid keypad to work, but I did it though. Day 94, I had my big backpack with me and I decided I just wanted to get as much stuff as I could so I didn't have to keep running back and forth. Basically just mine for 2 more days before I came back to the surface. I also expanded the villager kiosk to fit in another friend, when I made more potions of course. On the next day, on day 95, I found out you can make sentries to protect your building. They work on proximity too, and I didn't need to keep filling them with ammo, so it would definitely be a like of mine. Yeah, I wanted those things everywhere. No one enters my house without my permission. Also, I don't know why my villagers won't trade with me. Is it because I imprisoned you, or do you know about the village? Nonetheless, I made my first sentry on day 96, and I put it to the test. Well, it wasn't very lethal, but it kept zombies away. That's the important part, right? I needed lots more of these guys, so I had to get back to building, and on day 98 I popped up 2 more of these bad boys. At nighttime of day 98 I found out you can make something called the Protecto. It sounded like something I wanted, and I wanted to end the challenge off with a bang, so that was my new plan. Of course I needed ender pearls for it, which I couldn't get without endermen, but luckily there was a substitute for that too. An emerald, redstone, and gunpowder. Easy fix. Day 99, despite my best efforts to get as much ore as I could, I didn't actually get that much from the caves, so I decided I needed to get more iron because I needed more for my Protecto. Anyways, I was really curious about what it was and I wanted it before the challenge was over, so I went back down. for the final time into the mine. I mined around for about a day, and that actually led to the end of our challenge. I hit day 100. I couldn't stop now and end the challenge like that though. I didn't want to wait to find out what the Protecto did though, so I delved deeper into places I didn't usually look at, trying to find more ore, and then I saw this thing. Yeah, it's like an omen of death or something. It was pretty creepy, but I made the worst mistake I ever made when I shot my gun, and the zombies heard it. They came in with a steaming aggression, more aggressive than I'd ever seen them before. And even worse, this monstrosity was after me. Now I know what you're thinking. You had to get out of here alive, right? It's a story. Well, I didn't. I perished right here in the cave. And it gave me a respawn option for some reason. Even if I messed up, I was positive I put it on hardcore difficulty. I wasn't gonna hit respawn anyways, and that was the end of my 100 days challenge. I won, but at what cost? Everything. I guess this means there'll be no 200 days in a zombie apocalypse, but my soul lives on, so it does seem like there'll be more Minecraft adventures in the future, so stick around. Stick around until we once again open the Book of Tales.